All right, Carson, you're here in Atlanta. Just describe the feelings of the game tomorrow, getting ready for the Sweet 16.
Excitement. I think everyone here is, you can just kind of feel the excitement and the rush of adrenaline as we start to get closer and closer. I think we had a great prep, a great week of prep. So I think, with the feeling of feeling comfortable with what we did this week, then we're feeling better about what's coming up. So.
When you look at Ole Miss, what jumps out to you on film?
Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of good players for sure. As talent continues to get better, as you win in this tournament, it's going to get tougher, and players going to get tougher. Talent's going to get better. They have some good guards, and their center is top second lead scorer on their team. So for us as big guys, we haven't necessarily seen a super high caliber center in the last couple games. So especially for us, it's a big game for us defensively.
You guys are about to get out on the arena here, but you guys did get a chance to play at State Farm Arena actually already this year. Does that help you guys at all? I mean, sometimes people will say, it's nice to get the visuals down of the rims. Does it help you guys at all, or is that overspoken?
Maybe for some guys. I think that was so long ago. Also, with that being super early in the year, so I feel like it's kind of tough to use that as we play so many arenas and all that. So personally for me, it's it's going to take a little bit to get back accustomed to the environment. So.
When you talk about Ole Miss, they're coached by Chris Beard. He's had a matchup with Izzo in the past. When you go against a coach with a little bit of history with your team, does it make a difference? Does Izzo bring that up to you guys and kind of say, like, hey, like I know what he likes to do or what his teams like to do or anything like that?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean that was kind of the first thing he brought up to us about trying to get back and see and win against Chris Beard. He told us the story of how they lost him in Texas Tech and how they didn't play as well and how they kind of got out tough by them. So we kind of knew the hard nosed kind of basketball that he preaches over there and his teams and. Kind of get us, prepared mentally and physically for the war that we're gonna, feel tomorrow. So.
Tom always says he wants to win the weekend. You guys view this as the same mentality where, like, yes, you're preparing for Ole Miss, but we're already preparing for the next game as well?
Yeah, always. I think it was nice for us to get that first weekend out of the way and feel what it, kind of understand the feeling of what it takes to get through a weekend. And now we have the, a good understanding of, the amount of prep and the amount of, kind of just, the good routine, getting a good routine in the hotels and watching film and getting in with the coaches and all that, because a lot of that is, finding ways to be productive and, get ready for the game. So with us getting through that first weekend and now it's just doing that, but to another level. So
last question for you, but, this is a grind, obviously, when you make a run in the tournament. You get a chance to enjoy it as well, though, and step back and go, like, it's pretty cool?
Yeah, a little bit. I think right now it's pretty cool. When you're in the moment, I probably don't think about it as much as I should, but I definitely feel like, once we make a big run in this tournament, then, afterwards or after the fact or, 20, 30 years down the road, you can look back at it and say this is a pretty cool moment, it's an experience that not many college basketball players get to experience. So.
Awesome. Thanks, Carson. Appreciate it.
And we can't rely on the usual 5-man, 4-man, 3-man, like our usual. And I think this is, a very close example of that exact same thing. I mean, they are a little smaller, they are a little more physical, and we're giving them respect because they made this run in the tournament and they are really good. And they're big man, who can drive it, who can shoot it, who can kind of score at different levels. It's going to be a challenge, but I don't think it's going to be a challenge that we can't handle. We played some of the best forwards and bigs in the country, and we just have to make sure that we accomplish our tasks and do our job and help the team win. Thank you. Thank you.
Jackson, just what's the excitement like here, being in Atlanta, getting ready for the Sweet 16? Not everybody gets to see a Sweet 16 in their college career, so just explain the excitement behind being here and getting ready for the next round.
Yeah, no, it's honestly incredible. Really, it kind of hits you at different times where you're just like, man, like you said, it's crazy to believe that we're here to Sweet 16, but for all of us players and coaches and staff, we always have to kind of bring ourselves back, like, hey, we still have a job to do, and honestly, that kind of takes over more. We're just so excited to be, still be playing and to know that we have a game in front of us and to prepare, and It's that time of year. Everybody loves that time of year, and we're on as a whole, staff and players and coaches and everybody. We're just so excited just to be here, but we're gonna, be really locked in for the next game and, get ready to play.
I asked Carson this as well, but it's been a long time, but you did play at this arena already this year. Does that help you at all, or is it too long ago where it doesn't really make a difference?
It can honestly go in either way. It could help us because we've been here. We kind of know the atmosphere, what it's going to be like. I was going to be really intense playing against a good team here before too, and that kind of gives us a little bit of advantage. Playing in this arena before. Also, we're playing against a new team and under new stakes, and that can kind of be a challenge too, where both teams are kind of playing for the same thing, but also. We have to try to remind ourselves, like no matter what atmosphere it is, no matter what's on the line, it's still a 5-on-5 game, and we still have to, play our best basketball, do our job, and try our hardest to move forward in this tournament. And I think the best thing for us is just to kind of simplify it, also, but know what's on the line.
You guys have a challenge ahead of you, the bigs for this team, but you guys obviously are deep at the big position, which is good. Talk about what you guys have been preparing for with Ole Miss and how you feel you guys can handle it.
Yeah, we know that they're a really good team. They're a really physical team, and we give them a lot of credit because they're here and they're a really good basketball team. They got really good skill at the bigs position, and we have our we have our jobs to do to help our team, to rebound, defend, run, and, be offensive threat. But also we know what we have to do defensively against their bigs and what their tendencies are and kind of that scouting. So we just have to make sure that we're physical and we, don't pick up any fouls early on, and we just play good, clean defense and just try our hardest to, shut their guys down.
Two completely different teams, and for Chris Beard, it's even a different program. But the last time Michigan State was in the Final Four, we lost to Chris Beard and Texas Tech at the time. Did Izzo mention that at all to you guys about what it's like going against a Chris Beard coached team, even though it is a lot different than it was 6 years ago?
Yeah, we are. All of us are fully aware of what happened last time, and what it cost Coach Izzo, and for us players now to be in a very close position to make it to another Final Four, we feel like we owe it to Coach to come into this game with a very physical mindset and a very hungry mindset, and because you already know that Coach Izzo is motivated for a million reasons, but he has one more reason, to be motivated for this specific game, and we carry that too, because we're a part of his program. We're playing for Coach Izzo, and so now we have that approach of like, hey, even though we didn't lose to that team, we have to win this game, for Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Jackson. Good luck. Here for the Sweet 16. Not everybody gets a chance to play in the Sweet 16 in general. What has this experience been like for you this week as we get ready for tomorrow's game?
Yeah, first off, it's been a big dream of mine to play in the Sweet 16, to play in March Madness. And so, however far we can go is just building to my memories and, everything. So this week's been great, though. It's been a lot of focus from our guys, a lot of intensity. We know how big this game is going to be for us tomorrow.
I asked some of the other guys this as well. You guys did play in this arena already this year. It was a while ago, but does that help you at all as a shooter to have played in an arena like this before?
I would say, you wouldn't really think it does, but, when it comes down to it, it actually does. Just because, you're more comfortable. You've played and you've ran up and down the court before. So, yeah, I think it has. It will, yeah.
When you look at Ole Miss, what stands out to you on tape that you guys are really going to have to focus on here at practice today and as you get ready for tomorrow?
They're a tough group of guys. They got 3 or 4 players that are really good at what they do. Just dialing in on their sets and having extreme focus on the matchup you're guarding is important for us.
Last time Michigan State was in the Final Four, they lost to a Chris Beard coach team, different program, totally different team. But did Izzo bring that up to you guys at all and get you guys prepared, while it's a different team and a different program, to face a Chris Beard coached team like that?
Yeah, he definitely brought it up to us and, told us how Coach Beard is and how his teams usually are. So, I think it's something that he wanted to put on our mind about how that Final Four went. And, I think we responded good this week in practice.
What are you most excited for? I mean, a lot of people, Tom has said it himself, they want to win the weekend, right? So as you prepare for Ole Miss, you're also trying to prepare for a potential matchup with Auburn or Michigan, right? How does that work when you're kind of getting ready for two different opponents, or really three different opponents, honestly?
Yeah, so, we use the saying win the weekend, but, we still take it one game at a time. We're not looking ahead at all. Our full focus is on Ole Miss tomorrow, and then, after that game's over, then we'll shift our focus.
Thanks, Frank.
Thank you.
Sweet 16, let's just talk about what it's like to be back on this stage. Not a lot of college players get to even play in the Sweet 16. So what has this been like for you this week as we get ready for Ole Miss tomorrow?
It's been great. I just been grateful that I was able to prepare another week, stay in my career. So I'm just looking forward to it. I'm excited.
You step on that court, you think about, is it an active thought like the first two games, like let's not make this my last game? Is that something you think about actively during the game?
A little bit here and there. I mean, it just gives you that extra motivation just to keep going, make that player just keep playing hard because, you want to keep the season going.
When you look at Ole Miss, what stands out on film that you have to be ready for come tomorrow night?
Just their versatility. They definitely guard. They get after it on defense, and they can make threes. They got a lot of people that can do a lot of different things.
A lot of the other guys were saying that Izzo made it clear that this was something that he thinks about. The 2019 Final Four, lost to Chris Beard, different program, totally different team. But what has he told you about getting ready to go against another Chris Beard coached team?
Yeah, I mean, he just says that their teams are very tough. They get after it. So you got to be ready and prepared.
Thanks, Jay.
Appreciate it.
Do you remember when you guys were here last time? How you felt about the potential for you guys to have left the arena that day versus what's transpired, and could you see the team that you've become that early in the season?
Yeah, we definitely could. We played Kansas, which was I think they were top number one. They were ranked number one in the country, I think so, at that time. So they were a great team, and we could definitely tell the potential we had as a team from that game. For sure.
What like early on, what did you see that made you think? And I'm wondering that game, whether it's North Carolina, Maui, or Illinois on the road, wherever it, were there moments in the season where you said, okay, confidence-wise, we have the goods here?
Yeah, we just we just never give up. We always fight, whether we're down, whether we're up. We have ability to win close games too. In the stretch. So definitely those the games like Ohio State, North Carolina. Just those kind of games where we had the lead at the end and we kept it. We didn't lose it. I think those two games where we realized we could be good.
You guys have played once already in this arena earlier in the year. Does that help at all with just, comfortability or as a shooter as well?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't shoot good the first time we played them. First time we played in here, so hopefully we shoot good this time. I mean, that's all I got for real, yeah. But yeah, you can say it helps. I think it's the same locker room we was in last time. So yeah, no, it definitely helps playing in here before.
What's been Izzo's message about, we've talked to the other players about a Chris Beard team, how difficult it is, to beat them.
Yeah, he tells that his team's going to be tough. They're going to be aggressive. On defense, they're going to rally to the ball, and we just got to be ready, be strong with the ball and limit our turnovers.
Do you feel does Izzo bring up the 2019 Final Four? I mean, some of their players mentioned that he talked about that and wanting to get a little retribution for that loss, potentially the Final Four in 2019. Does he talk about that at all?
I mean, he just said that he's played them before, and in that Final Four, and that his teams are always good and they always play hard. He didn't really say too much else about it.
family still live in the Stockbridge area?
Yeah.
How excited are you to be
What did you spend the week doing the last couple of days to kind of refocus?
I think the whole weekend I was just in the gym so much. I shot a lot of jump shots, a lot of free throws, a lot of everything, just kind of get my rhythm back. Because last game I was shooting shots I usually hit, but they weren't falling for me. So just kind of getting back in the gym, working on those shots again, and getting comfortable again.
Yeah, I think we talked about it a little bit in Cleveland, but like when they were doing those hard hedges, there's more of the hard hedge on you. It seemed like. Did you see much of that, like individually, like at that volume, I guess?
No, I think that was really one of the first teams that really hard hedged as hard as I've seen. So just kind of watching film and adjusting to it, because I think Ole Miss will probably try to send something our way like that after watching the New Mexico game. So kind of just practicing that in practice and just getting used to that.
And that was one of those things where I think when you recognized that you started to do other things, it seemed like that was kind of the, okay, let's be a creator rather than a scorer.
Yeah, definitely. I think just watching those parts of the film, just watching the hard hedges, I can see teammates that are kind of open on those plays. So just kind of watching that and try to see what plays I can make. Of course.
Jace, have you had a chance to kind of soak in the moment at all? I know you guys are obviously grinding away, getting ready for Ole Miss, but have you had a chance to soak in the moment of being in the Sweet 16?
A little bit. I mean, I think that was one of the first things we kind of did when we got back. Coach was just super excited for us, getting to the second weekend. But now it's back to work since we got a game tomorrow, so just honing in on Ole Miss and getting the job done.
Tom always says he wants to win the weekend. You win this weekend, you're going to get a chance to go to a really special Final Four. I heard you say you went to the 2019 Final Four, right? What would that mean for you as a player to get there yourself?
I mean, it would mean a lot. Being there as a fan, you get to see the experience of the fan, but just see how cool it is as a player. I definitely want that, and so just trying to work hard this weekend to get to that.
What do you think? You guys played at this arena earlier this year. Does that help you at all? I mean, it was a while ago, but does that help you at all, especially as a shooter, being in this arena and having shot at these rims before?
A little bit. I mean, it's a totally different ball. We had the Spalding ball for that game, and we're a totally different team from that game that we were. So it kind of gives us an advantage, but I still think we got to come in and do our job.
Ole Miss, Chris Beard, Tom Izzo has a history with Chris Beard at that 2019 Final Four that you mentioned. What has he told you about preparing for a Chris Beard coached team, even though it is obviously a different team and a different program?
Just they're going to be tough. A lot of Chris Beard teams that he's coached against have been really tough. They play physical, so he told us just be prepared to get hit, and we got to hit back.
Thanks, James. Appreciate it.